Here's how to create a Facebook lead generation campaign from scratch for companies that are selling services or just anybody that wants to get leads from Facebook ads. And why should you watch this video? Well, I spent $91,000 in this ad account right here, which you can see on lead generation campaigns. Some of my top performing campaigns have hit an average lead cost of about $4.30 to $4.80, which is very cheap for this company given the fact that the average value of a client here is about $500. So to create a lead generation campaign, you have two options. You either do it on the landing page, so you send people to the landing page, they fill out a form and they become a lead, or you can do Facebook lead forms. Now, the difference between the two is that Facebook lead forms are very low intent. It's very easy to fill out, and you'll often get people who jump on the phone with you and they say they don't remember filling out that form. If you send people to a landing page, they see content, they get a bit more nurtured, and so there's more intent behind them getting in touch with you when you drive people to a landing page. Facebook lead forms can work, and they are obviously cheaper. But personally, in my experience, if you're trying to sell something that is a bit more higher ticket, like a couple $100s and upwards, thousands of dollars, you really need to send them to a landing page and have a whole funnel around that. But either way, what you're going to do is in Ads Manager, click on this create button right here. And then you want to select the lead objective right here. Now notice that you'll have instant forms and conversions. Again, going back to what I said a minute ago, instant forms is Facebook lead forms, and then conversions is when you drive them to the landing page. So if you click continue on here, what I would do is go with this manual leads campaign. Try and avoid this for now. It uses Advantage Plus, it uses some of Facebook's automation. It's not really that reliable, and so I prefer to go with the manual leads campaign. So then you'll be in this view right here. This is the campaign view. What you're gonna do is just come up with a campaign name. Now, naming conventions are important when you run ads. So if you're gonna be running lots of campaigns, I would definitely come up with a naming convention. And I'll try and make another video about that sometime because there's a lot to explain around that. But for now, I'm gonna do something like this. So I'm gonna do top of funnel, TOF. I'm going to do leads. I'm going to do the campaign name. So I'm just going to put campaign 1 just for the example here. And then you're going to come up with a campaign name. So I'm just going to put campaign 1 for now. Basically just describe what that campaign is, like leads for this service or whatever you want. Then when it comes to these options right here, if you're doing anything in finance or anything that's regulated, you will have to use the special ad categories. So you'll have to click on this drop down. If you're doing something else, then you can just leave it as it is. I wouldn't actually use Advantage Campaign Budget or A/B Test, just leave them as they are. If you then click next, you will then end up on the ad set level. And this is where you then need to decide between whether you want to do Facebook lead forms or the website. If you're going to do website, then there is a step here where you need to set up your pixel and you need to set up a website completed conversion event. So just to show you, if you have that set up, when you select the website option, you should be able to click on the pixel right here. And then once you select the pixel, your event would be here. So I've already set up complete registration. This happens when someone becomes a lead on my website. And so if I go with that setup, I'm now optimizing for website conversions. Otherwise, if you want to do instant forms, you would select this option, then you would select your Facebook page. And then for the performance goal, I would personally go with maximize number of conversion leads. This does get you higher intent leads compared to this option right here. And so I would personally select this, but you can always try both if you want to give that a shot. Then if you scroll down, you don't want to use dynamic create for now. You don't need to use catalog. And when it comes to the budget right here, this really depends on what you can afford to spend. But ideally, I'd say you want a minimum of about $25 a day, provided that your cost per lead is well under that. If your cost per lead is like $30, then you need to be spending at least $30 per day. But if your budget's limited, start with $25 a day per ad set. Then if you scroll down further, some of this is a little bit more important to think about. So what I would personally do right here is select the original audience option. This will stop you from using Advantage Plus, and you then have more control over the ad set. So if I click on the original audience right here, what I can then do is add in either a group of interests right here under detailed targeting, or I could leave it broad. The difference between the two is that if you give it interests, you are basically giving it suggestions. So you're giving Facebook suggestions of who you think people are that are going to be interested. So let's say you're doing something around accounting. Well, I could literally add in business as an interest. I could add in entrepreneurship. There's even demographics like people who own small businesses. So if you do that, you want to obviously stack these interests. And I'd say 3 to 5 interests here is a pretty decent number. What you don't want to do is just have one interest, because then you're being very narrow with your targeting. And what you actually want is to be super broad, to the point where when you look at your audience size, it's in the millions. And if it's like 21 million, I mean, that's amazing. But you don't want to have just one interest and only have like 50,000 people in an audience, because you're going to saturate pretty quickly. So again, going back to what you should do here, If you've got the budget, have two ad sets. One ad set would look like this, so you'd have interest. Then another ad set would have no interest at all, so you'd literally get rid of all these and you would just do like 18 to 65, unless of course you need a very specific demographic. Then up here, what you want to actually do is add an exclusion of your engagement. Now what you can do is you can create a new audience right here. Go to custom audience, create a custom audience of your Facebook and Instagram engagement, and create a custom audience of leads and existing customers. And when you've done that and they're uploaded to Ads Manager, you can literally select them here. And what this will do is it will force Facebook to always show your ads to new people. If you don't add exclusions, what you'll find is that after a while, Facebook will show your ads to the same people over and over again, and you're not really growing. And this is usually one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make. I've got a couple of videos on my profile about exclusions and why I should add them. So definitely check those out if you want to dive into more detail around exclusions. Then when it comes to placements, what I personally do is I click on edit, I switch to manual placements, and I untick the audience network because it's known to send bot traffic and just play around with your ads. It causes loads of issues, which you don't really want to experience. I would leave Facebook and Instagram for now, leave the rest of this. Only when you have enough data that suggests that, let's say, Instagram stories are performing extremely well, should you then go and exclude the Facebook feed. So for now, if you're starting from scratch, just have everything left on as you see. Then click on next and you'll now be in the ad view. So what you want to do obviously is come up with an ad name. So it could be like static, it could be talking about the message that's in there. So I don't know, hook X, and then you could do like where it's going to. So you could do to landing page 1 or something like that. Just use a naming convention that helps you identify what this ad is talking about and where it's going. Then if you scroll down, if you're doing the Facebook lead forms, you're going to see this right here that says instant form. And what you need to do is click on create form, and then you need to go in and add the questions that you're asking. Now, this only applies to those that selected the Facebook lead form. If you didn't select that and you went to the website conversions option, then you just add in the ad creative and the landing page URL, which I'll show you in a couple of seconds. But real quick, on the Facebook lead forms, what I would definitely recommend you doing is adding in conditional logic. If you add in conditional logic, what you'll be able to do is only allow those who qualify to actually complete the form. And so at that point, you are optimizing per qualified lead. So if you're an agency, for example, you could have a multiple choice question that says, how much do you spend a month on ads? You could do less than 10K, more than 10K. And what you can do is you can say that if the lead says less than 10K, disqualify them. If more than 10K, take them to the next question. And this way you actually train Facebook to only get you qualified leads, which would be a massive game changer for what you're doing. So go back to the ad view again. Now you're going to add in your ad creative. So where it says ad creative right here, click on setup creative. You have the choice between image and video. What I find for lead gen is that image typically does work better. Sometimes video does work as well. So either try both options, or if you want the cheap way, I would just go with image ad for now. Click on that, go to add media, and you're going to upload an image or use an existing one. In this example, I've got a random screenshot here that I'm going to click on. I'm going to select that, click next. And then ideally, if you're doing Instagram and story placement, you would actually have a version of this image that is optimized to fit this. If you Google the Instagram story dimensions with a 9:16 ratio, you can click on replace right here and insert that same image but optimized for that placement. Then you would click on next. And where it says here optimize, make sure all of these are turned off here. Otherwise, Facebook is going to basically ruin your ad creative. It's going to add random music over it. It's going to add these super ugly overlays, visual touch-ups. Just make sure all of these are turned off. Facebook always has these turned on by default, and it's super annoying because it will actually ruin how your ad creative performs. So make sure you've got those ticked, click on done. And then what you're going to do is add in primary text, and you're going to add in a headline. So just to show you, the primary text goes above the image right here, and then the headline will go right here. Now, in terms of the type of text that should go here, I would personally have short text, I would have text with emojis, I'd have long text. Test all three versions, and you can actually do that by clicking on add text option here. You can have up to 5 variations here. So this one could be the short version, you can have the long version, and then something with emojis, a bit more like engaging. You can do the same with the headlines as well. If you don't want to do that, then just click on the X here and just have the one primary text, one headline for now. And then you can also add in description too, which will show just under here. You can see that right there. Then call to action. If you're doing leads, I would do something like learn more, apply now, get offer, or even sign up. Those are usually pretty good call to actions. And then as you scroll down further, if you are sending people to a landing page, you will see an area here to add that link. Otherwise, if you're doing a lead form, you would just select the lead form right here. Then the bottom right, you would click on publish, and that's pretty much it. And then once you've done that, you can then go into the campaign. You can click on the ad set that you've just made, click on duplicate, and then you can go and change the targeting. So you could add in interest, and then you can have a second ad set with the same ad creative, but instead of it being broad, it has interest. Then you could duplicate it again and have another group of interests. And so then you've got a campaign with 3 different ad sets, all spending $25 a day, testing different interests. And obviously you can do the same on the ad creative level too. So guys, that is how you create your very first Facebook lead generation campaign. It's literally as simple as that. And over time, you'll start looking at the insights that you're getting. What is a click-through rate like? What is your cost per lead like by ad creative? And that's when you can start to optimize. If you have any questions or issues with creating this campaign, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.